Do we need yet another agentic AI framework? Maybe, if it moves the needle on the two things these systems consistently struggle with. First, predictable execution under load, and sane resource usage. Agentic frameworks aim to turn LLMs from clever text boxes into reliable components in a workflow graph. Tools are selected and called, intermediate state is persisted, failures are retired and retried, and multiple agents run concurrently without stepping on each other. This objective is not really new. It is getting mature, stable, observable, and we can see a lot of other agentic frameworks having type safe automation that you can ship, whether that's customer ops, research assistants, or back office glue. In this video, we are going to have a look at yet another agentic framework, which is GraphBit. We are going to install it, and I will also be showing you with a real world example as how exactly it works. I will also be sharing my opinion, but I will also rely on your feedback. What do you think if this GraphBit is different from rest of the lot or not, as we also have covered heaps of these frameworks in the previous months or years. This is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to the channel. Please like the video and subscribe and consider becoming a member as that helps a lot. I also want to introduce you to our sponsors of the video who are Igent. Igent is the world's first multi-agent workforce desktop application, empowering you to build, manage, and deploy a custom AI workforce that can turn your most complex workflows into automated tasks, and you will find their link in video's description. So let's get started with the installation. I'm going to use this Ubuntu system. One of the thing which really I would say should be the day one thing with these frameworks is open source free local model support like Olama based LM Studio or any quantized version, but that is not the case with this one. But anyway, you can see that I'm on my Ubuntu and I would need to use my OpenAI API key with it, which I will also be showing you shortly. But first up, let's get installed. So I'm cloning the GitHub repo and I will drop the link to it in video's description. By the way, you can get it installed both on Linux, Mac, and plus Windows. So I'm just going to go with my Ubuntu system here. Don't worry about this. This is just my Ubuntu system. Okay, next up, make sure that you have a Rust installed because this is Rust based and you can use Poetry in order to get it installed. So I'm just going to, press 1 here. It is going to install it. Let's wait. Takes a bit of a time with the Rust installation. And the Rust is installed. Next up, I need to set my OpenAI's API key. So let me set my key and clear the screen. If you're following along, you would need to go to platform.openai.com, grab your key, that is a paid option. If you don't want to use OpenAI, you can use Anthropic or Replicate. After that, we need to install Poetry. Again, just a curl command here. It is installing it. Poetry is done. Next up, install all the dependencies with the Poetry. And let me give my password here. And after dependencies, we need to build it from the source. After building from the source, bind the Python libraries. Python bindings are done and this completes our installation. Let's try to do a real world example. Before I do the real world example and show you the code and we run it, let's first try to set the stage as what exactly we are doing. So you just saw the installation. It shows us that GraphBit's pitch around agentic framework is pragmatic, Rust first performance and type safety, Python bindings for developer ergonomics, and a runtime focused on reliability because it uses circuit breakers, retries, observability around matrices and traces, and also efficient concurrency. They also say that they use far lower CPU and memory usage than popular alternatives while matching throughput, which is quite useful if you are cost bound or deploying on constrained hardware. Now, let's check it out. The code example which I'm going to do is this. So what I have done is I have just taken the example from their GitHub repo and created this example out of it to make it more real world. So this shows a small but realistic workflow for e-commerce support. So one agent orchestrates tools to look up an order, validate a discount code, and pull a quick sentiment signal from the user's message. I'll show you that too. These are all the tools, as you can see, I've defined with a decorator. And then this is a workflow where we have two agents. This is agent A, and then we have a second agent here, agent B, and then they are being orchestrated. So this code is not only showing tool description, but also will show how it drives the selection node to node handoff. Let me take you back and let me clear the screen, and let's go one bit further, and from GraphBit I'm just going to run this. Let me run the app.py. So this is the code which I just showed you. Let's run it. And there you go, the workflow has run successfully, and the first agent, as you can see, invoked three tools, then returned a structured JSON summary. It also tracked information which showed the order is in transit with DHL. ETA is tomorrow, last updated date, the discount code is also valid for 10% off, and then the detected sentiment from the user is negative. That is where it also scored it. And then the second agent turned that JSON into a customer ready message where it acknowledged the frustration, started carrier, ETA, whatever, confirmed the discount, and ended it properly. So look, I think a pretty good tool, not bad at all, I would say. So what's good in my opinion is that it is quite resource efficient runtime. The speed was quite good. The multi-agent graph is also quite good, and it's not that hard to implement. Python bindings on top of Rust performance is also quite good, which normally I have seen it really bursting at seams, but this one is quite good. But there are a lot of things which can be improved. Local model support, the good one which actually works, should be there, and there is some friction around OpenSSL, Maturin, Rust toolchain, which should be improved. And I also don't see many of the out of the box guardrails. Documentation could improve a lot, of course, and I think there should be more customization around model behavior, especially in terms of function calling. So yes, a lot to be done, but I think it a good start. Let me know what do you think. Please like the video and subscribe, and consider becoming a member, as that helps a lot. And if you really truly want to support the channel, the the best way is to become a member. Thank you very much.